Okay, so it is the day after the competition, and I have to be honest, it's actually like really surreal to be saying this, but I actually completely killed it, and I ended up with the pro card. So I got first place in the overall. I got first place in my novice group A. I got first place in the overall novice group. And, you know, when I got there, actually, it was kind of funny because I was under the impression that you could not cross over. In fact, I actually went back and looked at the application, and it says specifically on the application that crossovers are not allowed between novice and open. And I think that might have been waived because there were so few people in the contest. I mean, I don't think there were probably 40 or 50 competitors, like in total, between all the different divisions and groups and, you know, however they categorize those things. You know, but that said, I got there and I heard people were in the novice group and the open, and I went up and I was like, oh, can I still register for the open? And it was like just a matter of giving them $20 in your name. So I did that, and I don't know, I ended up with the first place in the open, and it was just shocking. I mean, I don't even know how to like describe the experience. I guess you know, there were a lot of videos and stuff, so obviously I'm going to post the video footage of you know, the posing and as much of that as possible. My partner that I went with, I think he said he filmed everything, and I've yet to watch it, and I don't know if I really want to watch it today. I feel like I'm kind of over it right now and just want to sort of recoup, but I just wanted to sort of check in and, you know, let you know where I'm at today. Like, honestly, I woke up this morning like just still in disbelief, and like I said, I know it was a small competition, so I don't mean for this to sound like it's oh my god, but I mean for somebody to have never done this before and to have come as far as I have, it just made everything seem worthwhile. You know, I was really pessimistic going into this yesterday. I just didn't think I would do very well, and then, you know, I just kept winning, which was just a thrill. Like, it was just exhilarating, you know, and to have my wife in the audience with my two friends cheering me on, and like I could kind of sense, and in some cases I could hear their reaction, you know, when the awards were being announced and I kept getting first place, and that was just I don't know, words can't describe it, you know, for the sacrifices and stuff that we've all had to make for me to get to this point. Like, that was just like the ultimate payoff, you know. Certainly better than not winning and walking away empty-handed. So that was my experience yesterday, and I mean, I guess I could probably go on for an hour describing the entire day. I didn't really have a chance to videotape anything backstage because it was just so hectic. You know, it's like you get there and you just basically wait around while they're getting everything set up. I got there a little too early, to be honest, but you know, once everything kind of starts happening, it just goes so quick. You know, once the prejudging started, you know, I was backstage, and I just felt like I didn't have any time to like get pumped or anything like that. I felt like my name was being called, you know. And I actually told Jeff, I texted him yesterday, I said at one point I had like, you know, rice cake and peanut butter and jelly in my mouth, and I was doing push-ups, and they were like calling my name, you know, because I was on in like 10 minutes or something like that. So it was just mind-blowing how quick it went, you know. And I don't know, I woke up this morning just feeling like my body has been hit by a freight train. Like, I'm just so sore and tired and exhausted. I was joking with Jeff last night about going to the gym today. I thought that would be a good idea to try to go to the gym and maybe, you know, stretch out a little bit and kind of get my body going. But at this point, I just feel like that would probably not be a good idea. And I think he said when he won the Muscle Mayhem last year, he said he was just like recovering the next day. So anyway, I guess I'm not going to the gym, but I spent the well, it's actually Mother's Day, so I made some like French toast for my wife after church today, and actually ate some of that with her. That was really good, you know, full fat and carbs and like real maple syrup and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I did that, and we actually went out last night after the competition. My wife and our friends wanted to go out and celebrate and go to Chili's, which we did. And, you know, I wasn't sure if I was going to eat, and then I just completely went crazy. I got the ribs, and I ended up getting like my own like molten lava cake, and I got like a margarita, and I didn't go crazy at the Chili's, but to be honest, then we got back to New York. It was about 11 or 11:30, and that was when I went a little nuts. Like, my wife and I went out to walk the dogs, and I went down to 7-Eleven, it's my go-to now, I guess, and I just got so much crap. I bought like 2 of these whoopie pies, and I bought a Rice Krispie treat. I bought 2 donuts. One was like probably the equivalent of like 3 donuts. Like, they were these huge donuts. And I got like an ice cream Snickers bar, and I got an ice cream Twix bar, and then I actually walked over to like another place, and I got like a pint of like froyo coffee ice cream or something, and I brought that home. You know, and I think my wife was kind of pissed that I had gone out. And, you know, I was literally just sitting in front of the 7-Eleven just eating all that crap. And then I went home, and I had the ice cream there, and by that point my stomach was so bloated. Like, I felt like a whale, you know, and I just kept eating, which is bad, I know. And then I eventually got to the point where I was just kind of so disgusted with the idea of eating anything else. I thought that was a good thing, but I don't know. I've been kind of taking it easy today. Like I said, I didn't think I was even going to be eating breakfast with my wife this morning, but it was actually really good, and I actually had an appetite. I don't know, the thing that was really bugging me, that's been kind of bugging me all day, I've just been having a really tough time getting rehydrated. I think I was just so dehydrated during the competition, and I was sweating so much, and I didn't want to drink too much water yesterday because you end up like looking bloated and feeling bloated on stage. And, you know, but I had all that pizza and stuff in the afternoon. You know, Jeff was kind of telling me, like, you know, eat some pizza and stuff before you go on stage, which I did. But, you know, I think eating all that salty food like the day before, and then eating all the salty food and the crap yesterday, and then for dinner, and then all that garbage when I got home, I think it's just sort of like, just like sitting inside me. And I feel like it's kind of uncomfortable. But anyway, I just think I'm exhausted, you know. Like, there's just no way to describe like the experience of like having to like go out on stage and pose for I don't know how long. I don't know if it was like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but I mean, you're hitting these poses and stuff, and then like I was able to walk off stage, and then they're telling me I gotta go right back on to compete with like the open group or like the next group or what have you. And then obviously when they're trying to determine like the overall, like it was me, I was out there with like the big boys. Like, I was out there with like the middle and the heavy and the super heavyweight guys, which was pretty intimidating. But by that point, I think I was just so shocked at how everything had been going. You know, I just went with it, and I actually started kind of having fun with the poses and stuff, and I got a little more comfortable with the poses, and we did a couple of those, like the pose downs, which I think is kind of goofy for the audience, I guess, more than anything. But, you know, I tried to hold my own with the big guys doing the pose downs and stuff, and I guess I did. You know, I guess like when they called my name at the end, you know, for the pro card, I was just, I don't know, I'm sure I did like a triple take. I was just blown away. That was like the last thing I was expecting. And I don't know, and I don't know. Like I said, I was prepping my food and stuff for the week because obviously I'm still going to do the OCB competition next week. And the promoter, I emailed him this morning and I told him I have a pro card now from last night's competition, and I asked him how that would affect, you know, my registration. And he said, well, you're registered for the novice group, but obviously you can't be in the novice group anymore, so we're just going to bump you to the open class 2, which is interesting because I think the OCB does their divisions by height. So I guess I'm going to be out there with guys that are the same height, but possibly like 3 times as wide as me, like some probably bruiser guys. You know, and at this point, like I said, I just think it's going to be really impossible to top, you know, last night. I don't think there's any topping that. I don't know, I'm tempering my expectations for the coming weekend, and you know, I know I said the same thing going into last night, but I know like the OCB competition is like 5 times as big as the WNBF, and you know, I seriously doubt I'm really gonna make much of a dent in that one. That one actually, I think I saw Romeo Estrada in that one last year, and I think he might have gotten like first in like his class or something like that, but I don't think he took the overall or anything like that. You know, he was kind of the guy that I've been aspiring to be throughout this whole process. You know, I was sort of aspiring to have his physique, I guess, going into this competition, and you know, so that's kind of how it turned out for him. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to try to give it my all. I don't really know where I am physically after all my binging escapades and stuff. I mean, Jeff just said to kind of take it easy today, and to send him some photos and stuff tomorrow. And to be honest, I just feel like completely bloated right now, and I'm sure it has to do with all the crap that I've been eating. So you know, that's not good. I mean, I'm actually kind of looking. I feel like I have a lot of like water retention right now, which is kind of weird, and I guess I'm sure that has to do with the sodium levels in my body and all that stuff that's sort of out of whack. So hopefully that'll sort of get back in place, you know, by the time the next competition comes up. I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, I definitely would like to try to go to the gym tomorrow morning. I feel like I need to try to get back into that, but you know, I guess the thing with the competitions too, like you're on stage and you're posing, and that is exhausting. It is exhausting holding those poses and stuff. But beyond that, you know, when you go off stage, like I was pumping up like the entire time. It was like I was basically working out from the time I got there to the time I walked off stage after the awards ceremony. You know, and there were a lot of guys standing backstage, and they were like, dude, I'm done pumping up. That's it. No more for me. And, you know, I was like, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I wanted to make sure my muscles were full and that I was staying warm the whole time and whatnot. So I kept doing my push-ups, and I kept doing my bicep curls and all that kind of stuff backstage. And, you know, I guess it paid off. I guess it worked out. I mean, it was kind of interesting too, because at the end, my wife and I were standing backstage, kind of getting ready to leave, kind of gathering all my stuff up, and 2 of the judges actually approached and, you know, said, you know, they were really, really sweet. They both, you know, were asking if I'd mind some feedback, and I was like, please tell me, you know, anything you have to tell me would be beneficial. And I guess their 2 pieces of feedback were incredible. They said, 1, your tan's not dark enough, you know, which isn't an issue, you know, and I actually was going to have the Dream Tan stuff on. I thought that's what I had bought yesterday, and apparently it was not. It was like a water-based, which Jeff said not to use, and I'm glad I didn't, because there were a lot of guys who looked like they had used like a water-based like darkening agent, and it just looks so bad on a lot of the guys that were there. So I'm glad I didn't do that, you know, and obviously the judge said that's an easy fix. That's you know, getting a darker spray tan. And the other criticism they actually had was that my posing trunks, they said, were not they said they were too wide, I think. They said instead of like, this is like from the back being wide, they said it'd be better to have like a more slender posing trunk, I guess, that shows like the feathering of my glutes. So I guess I had pretty good definition with the booty, and I guess they said, that way you could actually see more of it. But I think the primary criticism was the tan. They just said, all things being equal, if you're standing next to another guy who is on the same level as you and he's darker, he's going to win, because the judges don't have to work as hard to see his definition. So I definitely appreciate that feedback, and I'm taking that to heart. And I'm certainly going to try to get a darker spray tan before this next competition. And I think I can get that smaller backed posing suit by then too, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I guess it's another splurge. It's spending more money on this that I don't really want to spend at this point. But I feel like, if I'm going to go out there and do it next weekend, I might as well, go out there with all the right stuff. So I guess that's it. I don't know. I really am like exhausted, but I'm just so shocked. I was like so surprised that things turned out the way they did. And I will say this, like every single person that was in that competition backstage was so sweet and so nice and so helpful. And, for like a new guy like me to be there, like some of the older guys that were in the competition were like just so inspiring and just really kind. I feel like a lot of the stuff that they said was just so heartfelt and in the right place and encouraging, and I think that's why people do this. I guess it's the camaraderie, it's the and obviously it's a sport, it's the athleticism and stuff too. But I don't know, comically enough, when we were at the Chili's last night, there was actually a girl working there who came up to our table, and she said she saw my spray tan and figured I had probably just come from a competition. And she competes in, I think she was bikini, and now she's moving into like women's figure. And it was just really interesting, like, because she was kind of talking about her experience with food and stuff, and it was interesting for me to be with my friends and my wife and for them to hear what she had to say, because it kind of like validated my feelings and kind of how I've been feeling through this whole process. Like, just to hear other people, and like yesterday during the competition backstage, like people were joking about food and stuff. Like, it was real quiet at one point, and one of the guys was like, man, everybody must be thinking about that cheeseburger after the show, and everybody just cracked up. And it's like, but everybody's there, everybody's on the same page when it comes to food. Like, if people have been dieting down for competitions like this, everybody's in the same boat. And it was just interesting to hear the girl at Chili's talking about it. And she was asking me, she's like, are you going to compete again? And I was like, aside from the one this coming weekend, and everybody's been kind of asking that, like my family and stuff, and everybody's kind of wondering if I'm going to keep doing this. And I honestly have to say, I don't think I am. I hate to say that. I hate to like win a pro card and to sit there and say I'm not going to use it, or I'm not going to like take this further. But at this point, I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be so much change coming up in my life, and I just don't see how it would be possible to pursue something like this again under different circumstances. I feel like I've dedicated myself to this wholeheartedly for the past like 13 or 14 weeks, and I just don't think there's any way I'm going to have the same kind of time in the near future that I've had over the past 2 or 3 months. And even like just to say that it's been like 3 months is like so surreal. I can't believe that it has been as long as it has. And like today I just kind of realized like this was like my last food prep. Like I'm not going to have to like spend like half the day on Sunday like cooking food anymore for the week, which is kind of a relief. So I'm pretty excited about that, I guess. But I don't know, just like looking back on the experience and like thinking back on like those first days where I was like trying to eat the chicken and I couldn't get it down because I had cooked it wrong, and like all those nights where I was like eating pudding cups and stuff and wondering whether that was the right thing to do, and all of those like those nights when I went out and like I went binging and stuff, and I was just devastated that I had like ruined my chances to do well in the competition. And like I just, as amazing as last night was, as exhilarating as that was, as much of a payoff as that was, I just don't think it's worth it in my mind. Like I know it's certainly not worth like what my wife had to go through and like my moods and stuff. And I just kept telling everybody too, like my friends, I kind of had a breakdown with my friend Chris yesterday in the parking lot after the prejudging, because I don't know, I just lost it. I just started crying on his shoulder and I just felt so bad, and I don't know why. I think it was kind of like tears of relief, but also just like tears, like it's just been such a sacrifice. It's been so hard. And I just don't like the person that I've become throughout this whole process. And the fact that I didn't have energy to like get up and like walk my dog in the morning for the past 14 weeks. And the fact that like after work, like when my wife's in class, like I don't feel like I have the energy to like get the dogs around the block and stuff like that. Like I just hate that feeling, you know. And I don't know. I don't know that anything would be worth going through that again on any level, you know. And I went to the extreme. Like I got my body fat down to like, I guess I didn't realize this, but I think we did the math yesterday in the car, and I think I lost like 35 or 36 pounds for this. And you know, that's how you get striated glutes, where you can see like the muscle fibers in your ass and stuff. You have to lose that much body fat, which makes me think that the bod pod body fat measurement I did was probably not nearly as accurate as I was hoping. Like when they said I was 10 or 11% or whatever it was, I don't know if that, there's no way. I mean I still had a couple weeks up until last night to lose more weight, and I certainly did. I think I lost like another like 10 pounds or something. So maybe, I think my body fat was like, it had to be close to 5 or 6%, you know, if not already below that. So I don't know, but I guess my point is, like, if you're going to take it to the extreme, like, you have to like sacrifice so much in your life. And I don't know, it's a hobby. For me, it is a hobby, and I think it's got to be a hobby for all of these other people. You know, I don't see how somebody could hope to take this to a next level unless, you know, I guess if you were to get like endorsements and stuff, but I don't even think, people don't endorse like natural bodybuilders, and like even like the pro bodybuilders that are out there competing for prize money. Like I think the OCB competition next week, I think like the first place bodybuilder prize money, it's maybe $1,000 or something, which is like nothing, you know, for what these guys have to like go through and stuff. It's like insane. So I don't know, I guess that's kind of where I'm at with this mentally. I just, like I said, I just don't know if I'm gonna keep at it. I don't think I am. I've got my trophies, and I think I'm gonna put those in my garage gym and look and have a nice memory. And I've got plenty of pictures, and like I said, the video, and I'm so glad that I did this video documentary. I don't think I'm done with it just yet. I'm sure I'm gonna kind of keep it going throughout the week, you know, up until the point where I'm finished with the OCB competition. But I'm just so glad that I did this, and I'll have a chance to kind of look back on the whole process someday. I don't know if I'll ever actually want to watch myself talk for like a half hour at a time, which is what this is becoming. But anyway, I think it's pretty neat, and I kind of wonder if somebody's going to watch this someday and like just be interested in like my whole process, you know, and what I went through from start to finish. Like, for somebody who had never ever competed in a bodybuilding competition of any sort, to having won a pro card on my first show, like my warm-up show, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. That's pretty cool. You know, I mean, God knows, like, I put in the time with training over the past, like, 20-something years of my life. You know, people were asking me backstage, they were like, how long have you been training or whatever for this? And I said 14 weeks because, you know, I thought they were talking about the diet, you know, and they were talking about working out, because I guess a lot of them have just started, you know, because it's like, it was a lot of younger people, and there's older guys too, but I think the majority were probably in their 20s, so it's definitely, like, I had kind of anticipated, it's definitely a younger person's ball game, and you know, that's probably to be expected, I guess. But anyway, I feel like people were really cool, you know, and I feel like people were very welcoming, and having said that, I don't feel like I am really part of that group, or part of that that base of people, I guess, you know. I don't feel like that's my thing. It's like when, like, I go out to, like, Comic-Con in San Diego for work, you know, it's just, it's a very specialized group of people, and everybody's super, super nice, but everybody is focused on one thing that interests them, and as much as, like, being in good shape and, like, being strong and muscular, and that has always interested me. It makes me feel good. I like to go to the gym and, you know, throw weight around. But this is sort of another aspect of that I don't know if I would say I enjoy. Like, I'm really looking forward to, like, getting back to some of my other hobbies and stuff, and for, you know, the gym to be something that I do in the mornings for, like, you know, an hour and 15 minutes or something, but I don't come home and, like, obsess about food, and, like, I don't spend, like, 3 hours a day on MyFitnessPal, like, arranging my menu and stuff for the week. Like, I just don't want to do that anymore. Like, I guess that's the other thing, like, with MyFitnessPal, they tell you, like, how many times you've logged in, and, like, I think I logged in, like, for, like, 80 days consecutively, and, like, again, like, just thinking about that time that I spent doing that, it's just surreal to me. It is so surreal and so odd to think that I spent that much time, you know, calculating macros and trying to figure out where I could fit, you know, another calorie or whatever so I was less hungry, is just surreal. So I don't know. I'm really full right now, and I'm sure my muscles are just bursting with, like, glycogen from all the carbs and stuff that I had yesterday. And I haven't been very strict today. Like, I think I've got, like, a ham sandwich left over from yesterday that I was supposed to have for the competition. So I think my wife and I are going to have, like, sandwiches for dinner. But I think tomorrow I'm planning to get back on the diet. That's why I did all my cooking today. I'm planning to, like, wake up and have my breakfast, like my omelet and Greek yogurt and my little meals throughout the day, and, like, a sensible dinner. I think Jeff said he's gonna try to give me an idea of where I should be with the diet again for this week, but I'm just gonna sort of get back on track where I left off. And it's just tricky at this point, though, because I've only got, like, 5 or 6 days until the next competition, so I don't know, as far as, like, carb loading and crap, how that's going to factor into it, or if it will at all. I mean, I think I just want to get back onto, like, a regular diet that doesn't feel too extreme. And by extreme, I mean, like, eating crap that I haven't been for the past several months. Like, I just want to get back onto a diet where I'm just eating, like, the chicken and the sweet potatoes and stuff, because I think my body needs a little bit of a transition period. As much as I didn't think it would after what I did last night, I definitely feel like I need some time to, you know, make that change. And my wife had also said too, like, you know, my stomach has probably shrunk quite a bit, you know, and I think that's probably true. And I think it's going to take some time to sort of reverse that process, or maybe not. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to put all that weight back on. I don't know if I'm going to get back up to 188 pounds, you know. I guess we'll see how it works and see how it goes, and see if I've affected my metabolism at all, one way or the other, for good or bad. But yeah, I guess it's nice to be on this side of the hump, you know. I feel like I got the one under my belt and I did really well, and now it's all just gravy. I feel like just going out for the OCB show is just going to be, I think it's just going to be fun. You know, I think I'm going to have fun getting pumped up backstage, and I think it's going to be fun going out there and posing. And you know, worst case scenario, if I don't do that well, I don't have to like kill myself the rest of the night. I can just kind of take it easy and watch the rest of the show, and then maybe go back to my hotel and you know, eat something I shouldn't. You know, and then I think the next day I drive back to New York City, and that's it. And then my wife and I are on vacation in like a week or so after that, which I'm really, really looking forward to. So that's the day after the competition where I just freaking rocked it. You know, not to toot my own horn, I guess, but I don't know. I see some of the video and stuff that people have taken that I uploaded to my Instagram account, and I just feel like I'm looking at another person up there, like the guy that's up there accepting the awards and like hitting the front double bicep and stuff. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's me. So I don't know. Well, I don't know what that means, but anyway. So I guess I'll check in tomorrow, or maybe in a couple days once I figure out what's going on. So until then, take care.